Guys, I've got the latest Caron fragrance here in a box. HOMME de Caron Parfum, a 2024 launch. It just launched actually, but sadly it launched just after I left France. So I had to order a bottle, and I think I ordered 2 bottles here. So I'm going to do a first impressions and then also pause the camera, come back and let you know how the fragrance wears on me. And also I am going to touch on some of the previous HOMME de Caron flankers and then compare the latest HOMME de Caron version to an older version. As I've mentioned, the colors are not the same. It has been reformulated, I know that for sure, but I have an older bottle here and the green is a bit different, and then the green in the newer bottle is kind of blue, like a strange blue color. Either way, I'm excited for the new HOMME de Caron Parfum. You're going to find out all about it coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. We're talking about HOMME de Caron Parfum, the latest flanker in the long-standing, almost 100-year-old fragrance HOMME de Caron, which launched in 1934. So it's 90 years old. This is a 90-year-old anniversary Parfum edition. And I believe there was already once a Parfum, which I am drawing a blank with the date of that. But also in 2014, they launched HOMME de Caron Millésime 2014, which I have a bottle of right here. As you can see, it's a tester. And I prized this one because it was a really great take on the original HOMME de Caron, which, you know, like I said, has been around since 1934. It's a fragrance my dad wore. It has so many memories of my dad. So it's a fragrance I hold dear to my heart because my dad wore it, he really enjoyed it, and I have these vivid memories of him using this fragrance where I lived in the Middle East a long time ago when I was a little kid. So it's a very special fragrance for me that I actually really love. It has been changed, it has been modernized. As you can see, as I said, the color is different. This is the latest version here, and I bought these 2 bottles at the same time in France last year. I know this is the older box, and this came in a gift set with a 10 ml, and so I don't have the box for it, but as you can see, they are so different. The brand has gone through some changes. It's owned by a very wealthy family, which I'm drawing a blank with the name. Somebody will write it down in the comments section. And the brand almost folded, I think, until this family saved the brand. So let's go ahead and open this box and check out the HOMME de Caron Parfum. I haven't gotten my nose on it. I was anticipating it while I was in France, but sadly it didn't launch while I was there. So it's 120 euros for a 75 ml Parfum. That is the price, and it only comes in one size, a 75 ml, which I'm not sure why they only have a 75 ml, but maybe there's a reason behind it. Maybe it's too concentrated for a larger bottle. But 75 ml, 120, what do you guys think about the price? I know fragrances and the prices for fragrances are getting jacked up, way jacked up. And so is it fairly priced? It is lesser than a lot of other parfums, but it is a 75 ml bottle, so it's not like it's really inexpensive. So there are some gifts that came with the fragrance. A 5 ml. I bought 2 bottles, as you can see. I figured if I was going to pay shipping, I might as well buy 2 to have on hand. And I can sell one to a friend here, or I just keep it because I really love the fragrance myself, although I haven't tested this out. But it does come with these 2 5 mLs of the same fragrance. Let's show you this. As you can see, the color is the same color. The color has now become this color. Even though this is the Parfum, they've changed the color to that. I mean, the color used to be this greenish, kind of like a brighter green color. Now it's almost like a electric kind of a blue color, if that's the right word to use. So what have they done? Why have they changed the color? Because for the longest time, for me, the color of Caron Parfum de Caron has always been like this. Almost like an apple green. This is more of like a futuristic green color to me. There's something else in here as a gift. Oh, I guess one sample. And then a sample of Musk Oli, which I have got my nose on. I think I really enjoyed it. So now I could wear the Musk Oli myself. So let's open up the box. There's a small box, as you can see. So it's created by Jacques. He is the in-house perfumer over at Caron now. Who's a fan of Caron? Are you guys fans? What do you guys think of their fragrances? And what do you guys think of the perfumes of Jacques? Let me know. Put a comment down below. This is basically the box. It seems pretty compact for a 75 ml. And if you haven't tried Parfum de Caron, it's known for lavender. It's a lavender balm, and it's an ambery lavender, and it's got resins and amber notes, vanilla, of course, with an overdose of lavender. Here's the bottle. It's a cute little bottle. Really beautiful. I love this bottle. It has a lot of memories for me. A lot of memories. So, 2024... original Caron Parfum de Caron launched in 1934, so 90 years old. 75 ml, 120 euros. I would call this an aromatic fragrance or an amber. It's parfum concentration, and Jacques is a perfumer. The notes are French lavender essence, French lavandin essence, French lavender absolute, French lavandin absolute, Turkish rose essence, vanilla, musk, Opoponax essence, Styrax, Resinoid. So those are the notes that are credited for this, and I can't wait to get my nose on it. The color of the green on this one is super amazing, but I think the glass itself is colored. The juice, as you saw in the sample, was that kind of electric blue. I don't know what you would call this. It's not necessarily blue. It's a green blue, maybe a little gray blue, but that's what the color looks like. But I like the fact that it's hidden behind this green bottle. What do you guys think of this bottle? It almost kind of reminds me... although it doesn't remind me, it's the same size as Nuit Fresh, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit. As you can see, the bottles are kind of similar, although this bottle is slightly bigger, and they're both supposed to be 75 ml. Yeah, both of them. This one is slightly smaller, but this is the Parfum right here. So let's go ahead and spritz this on a strip, and let me tell you all about it. And then I'll wear it and pause the video and come back. Ooh, wow, it's pretty potent for lavender. Oh. The lavender is just really boosted up. When I travel to the south of France, I end up buying lavender oil because I really like to use it. I love the smell of lavender. It's calming. It's perfect to sleep at night with, to spritz on your pillows and things like that. And so this reminds me of that. It's been overdosed with the lavender. It's quite a bit of it because there's a French lavender essence, French lavandin essence, French lavender absolute, French lavandin absolute. Then there's the Turkish rose, the vanilla, musk, Opoponax, Styrax. So this is going to get ambery when it's settling on your skin with the fact that it has the vanilla, the Opoponax, the Styrax, and of course there's musk here and a little bit of rose. The rose is just to give you a contrast with the floral touches. Lavender is a bit of a, to me, it's like a aromatic herbal flower. So there's some floral touches in there. So I feel like the rose gives it a bit of a contrast. It gives it more of a floral edge. But it's not about the rose here. I think the rose is taking the back seat, just there to kind of enhance all the lavender in here. But on the strip, I'm smelling a lavender overdose, just like the lavender oils I bring back from the south of France when I travel to France in the south of France. But behind all of that, it's warming up. It's getting ambery. it's getting resinous. Opoponax, it's kind of like a myrrh note. It's a sweeter resin, and it is a nice contrast with the vanilla. The vanilla adds all of its vanilla glory and sweetness, but then Opoponax comes in, it's a bit smoky, it feels resinous and balsamic a little bit, and then of course it's got the sweetness there. I think on strip it's really, really great. So next thing we're gonna do, I'm going to spritz it on and let you know a little bit more about this. 4 spritzes. Wow. It's quite lavender-like. It's an overdose of lavender. So you've got to be into lavender to appreciate this, first off. And to me, this is sort of like a barbershop fragrance. I would call this an amber fougere more than something like a regular fougere where it's more about the aromatics and spices and woods and citruses rather than something that develops and warms up, because there's a lot of vanilla, there's the Opoponax, there's these vanillic kind of resinous notes, and it sweetens the fragrance up, and that's why I would categorize this more like an amber fougere. But it's not your traditional. It's not your traditional fougere or barbershop fragrance, because typically lavender has been associated with, the fougere fragrances. So this kind of falls in that category. Not like a full-on barbershoppy, as I said, an amber fougere, because we've got lots of lavender here, an overdose of lavender. But on skin, even though it's warming up behind all that lavender, the lavender is really in your face. Really quite in your face. Yeah, I've been a fan of this particular fragrance for the longest time, thanks to my dad. I'm still a fan of it. I really do enjoy it. I think it's one of the best men's fragrances that has ever been created, and it's almost 100 years old. And again, this new Parfum is for the 90th anniversary of the actual fragrance. The brand itself is from 1904, and Homme de Caron launched in 1934, 30 years after the brand was, born. So I'm going to pause the video now, come back and let you know a little more about Homme de Caron Parfum, and then also touch on all the different fragrances and flankers in the series. Okay, I've had this fragrance on for about 2 hours. And once again, it's a designer level parfum, so it has great longevity and lingering power, but it's not beast mode. That's not what we're going to get from a lot of these mass market brands. But for me, it's a really, really great smelling fragrance. I love the lavender. I love the fact that it's intensified compared to the original in Eau de Toilette. It's a lavender bomb. It's intense. It's an overdose of lavender. So I know there's people that really enjoy the note and some that just cannot stand the note of lavender. If you hate lavender, stay away from this one because it's a lavender bomb. But yes, eventually, slowly, the lavender kind of tones down and the warmth of the resin, the Opoponax and the vanilla intensifies and creates, with the Styrax and the Musk, creates a ambery effect mixed with the lavender. It's not necessarily meaning that the lavender completely disappears, but you do get an ambery effect blended with all the lavender that's up top when you first spray it. I really enjoy this, really love it. I enjoy intense fragrances, but again, it's not beast mode. It's not going to fill a room up and you're going to smell it. At least to me, it's not. It depends on how much fragrance you wear. I feel like this is definitely, like I said, a designer level parfum. Not super beast mode, but with great longevity. But for sure, you'll notice the intensification going from the Eau de Toilette to the Parfum. There's no Eau de Parfum fragrance in this collection, so you went straight from the Eau de Toilette into a Parfum. But there are a few flankers that I'm going to talk to you about, and also some discontinuations because some of the previous flankers, like Homme de Caron Low and Homme de Caron Sport, are no longer selling, and the prices are quite high. Alright, so I've got a list of 7 fragrances I'm going to talk to you about. First of which is the original Homme de Caron in Eau de Toilette concentration. As I said, there's a difference in color from an older bottle to the newer, and the newer a formulation of the eau de toilette. The color is kind of this electricish blue. Is that what you would call this blue? But here, this is more like an apple green, which is what I'm familiar with. So there has been some changes with between the original formulation from before they changed it over. And I noticed this in 2020. I did a video on the original along with the Sport and the Low, because I had just found out about the Low during the pandemic, and I ordered a bottle. They were at the discounter, so I did a video, and my original bottle, the color was like that. So I think around this time there was a changeover with the brand. There was a report at one time that the future of the brand was not, it was uncertain. So good things happened, and this big group purchased the brand or became owner of the brand, and so they've saved the brand, and they actually hired an in-house perfumer, Jacques, and I started noticing changes, especially since I bought these two bottles last year from France, and I noticed how different the colors are. But in general, the eau de toilette launched in 1934, created by Ernest Daltroff. It's lavender, rose essence, vanilla, musk, Opoponax, and Styrax. So they've amplified all of those notes and increase the amount of lavender and lavandin that's in the fragrance. So the original is thinner. It's a very cozy fragrance. I find lavender to be very calming, soothing, relaxing, and also the fact that it's got this warmer notes, the vanilla and the Opoponax resin creates that ambery effect. So it's a great fragrance to fall asleep to. The problem is also it's not available at the discounters much anymore, because you should find these. The very first bottle I bought back in 2012, after I got into this reviewing thing, I found bottles for around $35, $45, and things like that. Since that whole changeover in 2020, you can't find it at the discounters much anymore. But so that's that. Now let's talk about two flankers that launched in 2022. The two flankers that launched in 2022, one of them I really, really love, that you guys definitely need to know about. The other one I don't care for much. I bought these in France in 2022, and I did a video on them. First of which is Pour un Homme de Caron Le Matin, this one right here. And then Pour un Homme de Caron Le Soir, almost like Francis Kurkdjian, Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Grand Soir, Petit Matin. That's how they're doing it. The daytime and the nighttime. For me, it's all about the nighttime. The daytime I can skip. I bought it, and I'm talking about it here once again. It's more very metallic and sharp experience with this fragrance, so it's not something that I would gravitate towards and wear quite a bit of, but you guys might like it. It's 2022, as I said, Jean-Jacques Perfumer, Lavandin, Ginger, Geranium, Patchouli, Guaiac Wood, Oak Moss, Bergamot, Lemon Tree, Petitgrain. So this fragrance is still selling. It's been around for 2 years, and maybe there's an audience for it. It's not my cup of tea. As I said, it comes off sharp and metallic, so it's a bit screechy on me when I wear it. But with the Le Soir, oh my god, it's great. It's basically taking the Pour un Homme de Caron DNA into like a Dior Homme Intense DNA, because they've amplified it with Oris or Iris Concrete, and it's super sexy and amazing. So it's once again Jean-Jacques in 2022 is when it came out. It's lavender, oak, cypress, Iris Concrete, violet leaf, ambroxan, tonka beans, and vanilla. If you like the idea of Pour un Homme de Caron and you like the idea of Dior Homme Intense, you must get your nose on this one. Don't skip out on this flanker of Pour un Homme de Caron. It's great. It's less like Pour un Homme de Caron, but it's a combo, and maybe it's a bit more modernized. It's been sexified. I don't know what you call it, but it's super, super amazing. So get your nose on this one if you like the idea of both, the Dior Homme Intense kind of a DNA, and also the original Pour un Homme de Caron. So that's definitely worth owning. Please do check that out, although you can probably check out Le Matin as well, but I don't care for that one. It's not something I would promote, because it just doesn't do it for me. Now going to Pour un Homme de Caron Sport. I actually reviewed this back in 2016, I believe, a long time ago. We did a bottle giveaway, and it was a favorite of mine, but it doesn't seem like it's selling anymore. You might be able to find it at various discounters at a pretty hefty price tag, but for a while this was selling fairly inexpensively. You could find bottles for around $60, $65, and things like that. This is 120 ml, by the way. I forgot to mention the original eau de toilette of Pour un Homme de Caron bottles are, either 120 or they're actually 125 ml. This bottle right here, this is actually a large size. I love this fragrance so much, and I bought this for collection purposes. And I bought it at Marionnaud in France last year, both of these, which this one came in a gift set. There was a promotion, that's why I bought it. But I keep it in the box. And so, again, it's good to also see the fact that the color changed, because it's definitely very noticeable. But going back to the Sport Pour un Homme de Caron, they had basically, you know, made it a lot more vibrant and invigorating, because they have added a lot of citruses and this kind of zingy ginger and lemon verbena note. But the fragrance was created by William Frazee, is that how you say it? Citruses, lavender, lemon verbena, ginger, grapefruit, mandarin, ambergris, benzoin, white musk, and tonka. So the lavendery touches were toned down in this one, and, you know, citruses, zingy notes like lemon verbena, ginger, and grapefruit were, you know, added. Give it a more of a sporty edge to the fragrance. I'm not necessarily sure if this is really a sporty fragrance, but I would consider those invigorating and zingy notes to be kind of sporty. It was a great fragrance. I'm a bit bored of it, and unfortunately it's discontinued because it's not on the Caron website. I do have a nice backup of it, and I've got whatever's remaining in this. And then Low came out in 2018, and I didn't even hear about it until during the pandemic in 2020. And that's when I ordered a bottle of it on FragranceNet, and it was really inexpensive at that time, around $39, $45. I can't remember the exact prices, but they were definitely cheap. And the Low featured notes of lavender, lime, geranium, vetiver, ambergris, and vanilla. They just basically increased a lot of this kind of citrusy touch from the lime and made it kind of watery in that way. It's not necessarily featuring like lotus flower and things like that, or water lily to give you that watery edge, or even something like violet leaves, which creates that ozonic touch. But basically, they're calling it Low. It's not acting very watery, but whatever notes they've got in here gives you a bit of a watery edge to it, kind of a thing. But it's lavender, lime, geranium, vetiver, ambergris, and vanilla. And I think it was a pleasant wearing fragrance. You're much away from the original DNA of Pour un Homme de Caron with this one, but it was pleasant. Again, this one's discontinued as well. I might not have a backup bottle of this one, sadly. This is all I have left. Let me know if you guys were fans of these two. I know they were popular for a while. Pour un Homme de Caron Sport and Pour un Homme de Caron Low. And then I want to kind of touch on this Pour un Homme de Caron Millésime 2014, which came out 10 years ago as an anniversary, the 80th anniversary for the launch of Pour un Homme de Caron. It's called Millésime 2014. Now we've got 10 years later, Pour un Homme de Caron Parfum. Yes, I do prefer the Parfum over the Millésime 2014, but as a collector, I like to have this one. It's half a bottle, unfortunately. It's a bummer, but this is also a tester. It smells great. When you smell it off the sprayer there, there's a bit of funk in there, like a bit of an animalic muskiness, which is kind of cool. But it's a bummer it's no longer, but it's you know, it's an anniversary fragrance. And so that's the collection of Pour un Homme de Caron fragrances. And also, I should mention this fragrance. I discovered this fragrance as a blind buy off of FragranceNet or Fragrance X probably about 2-3 years ago. It's called Nuit Fresh, this one right here. I didn't hear about this fragrance coming, and when I saw them selling really inexpensively on Fragrance X, I looked up on the Caron website, nothing to be found about it. So this must have been a flanker that came or got released before the changeover. And I felt like it was a nice dumb reach, pleasant blue fragrance. Nothing really groundbreaking or too original. Definitely nothing like Pour un Homme de Caron. But it was pleasant to wear, something you can wear in the summertime. It's fresh with ozonic notes, so there's probably violet leaves in here, maybe something cucumber-like. There's bergamot, there's sandalwood, and guaiac wood. So it's woody, it's a blue fragrance, fresh, ozonic. Again, it was very inexpensive. It was selling for around $35, so I have a few backups of this one. And I really like the bottle, of course. It's more about collecting. I'm a bottle lover, but if you guys have gotten your hands on this, it is discontinued, and once again, it's also overpriced now if you can find it out there. But it's a pleasant fragrance. But anyway, those are my thoughts on all these fragrances. Really happy about Pour un Homme de Caron's Parfum. Caron de Caron Parfum from Caron. Again, it's not necessarily beast mode or super beast mode. It's definitely a designer or mass market level parfum. It's not going to overwhelm, although it is stronger than the original. It does have good longevity. Still going here 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 15 minutes later. It smells great, and of course it's warmed up quite a bit now. It is definitely warmer. Although I'm feeling a little something funky on my skin, a bit dirty, but not overwhelmingly animalic, just kind of musky, because there is musk in the notes. But yeah, I'm definitely happy about this one. I'm happy with it, and I like the way it smells, and hopefully you guys will get a chance to smell it as well. It was 35 euros to ship both of these bottles, and I got the 5 mLs with each of the bottles, and then an additional 5 ml and one sample as well. So it is pricey to get these fragrances shipped from France, but some places charge 45, like Harrods charges $42. It's $42, I think. So when you do the conversion, it's about pretty much the same. Yeah, I mean, sometimes brands don't have a presence in the States. There used to be a New York City boutique for Caron, but they closed it like around 2018 or something, or 2017. So now you have to order. And mail order is pretty convenient. The only thing is you have to pay for the shipping, unfortunately. But either way, those are my thoughts on Caron Homme de Caron Parfum. What are your thoughts on this fragrance? Are you a fan of the original? Are you looking forward to get your nose on the Parfum edition? Let me know. Put a comment down. One last thing I forgot to mention. There was a Parfum launch once before. And again, I think I mentioned it, but I didn't remember the date, so I'll have to look it up and add it in the info box. But if you guys know, put a comment down below. But either way, thanks so much for watching today's video. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.